What's up, guys? So today we're going to be going a little bigger than the flame sword I made a couple videos ago. We're going to be making a full-on flamethrower. It's going to be cool. Basically, my plan for this is I have this little, mini fire extinguisher. I'm going to empty this out and use that to hold the, I don't know what I'm going to use, probably lighter fluid or something. I'm going to make some sort of chassis or something to just hold the whole arrangement. I kind of make this up as I go. But basically, I'm going to use the fire extinguisher to shoot out some sort of flammable liquid, have one of those butane hand torches by the nozzle, and it's going to light everything on fire, and it's going to be awesome. Let's get right into it. Alright, so definitely doing this outside because I don't want to make a mess. Whew. Okay, looks like all the pressure's gone. So it obviously doesn't have too much juice in there, but that's kind of the cost of having such a small can. But I needed it small enough to be able to mount onto something easily without having to have a backpack or something. I want it to be a self-contained system. Now I'm gonna unscrew this and clean out the rest of it, and we'll be moving on from there. The next step was to drill a hole in the fire extinguisher for a valve so the flamethrower could be repressurized after each use. To get the valve into the hole, I used a piece of string to pull it through the hole that was previously drilled. Now the nozzle and hose portion of the flamethrower was probably the part of the build that I had the most trouble on. First of all, the threads of the fire extinguisher were both on the inside and just a weird irregular size. So for my first attempt, I tried to seal a plastic piece that would act as an adapter for the hose. From there, I attached a simple hose spray handle to the end to act as the trigger, as well as allowing me to adjust the spray settings if I wanted a more dispersed pattern or a finer stream. Unfortunately, the seal of the PVC adapter piece tended to leak air, losing the pressure that was in the fire extinguisher. This failure led to the horrible idea of melting the plastic onto the metal, which did not work even a little bit and only ruined the plastic and stained the metal, which wasn't really the end of the world at this point since it wasn't working anyways and was going to be thrown out. After that didn't work, I decided to try and reuse the original top of the fire extinguisher. After cutting off the built-in nozzle to salvage only the threaded piece of it, I attempted to solder a new metal hose adapter to the bottom of the threaded piece without a whole lot of luck. Alright, so the PVC piece I was using previously wasn't really keeping an airtight seal, so what I ended up doing is taking off the screw piece that went in this and came with it originally, because that would obviously, it's meant to go in there because it's a weird hole width, and none of the normal pieces would fit. Then I used some JB Weld to put this 3/4 of an inch adapter and connect them, and I also put some around that just to keep that sealed. Hopefully this will keep a better seal, and we're going to test out this design now. Alright, so I've done a little bit of trial and error. I had to reinforce these two seals with some more JB Weld because they were leaking some air. So this handle was both not airtight and also just causing some flow issues for whatever reason. So I decided to just see if I can not use that at all. So instead I decided to just get this open and close valve where I can, and that is airtight, where I can just turn this. Originally I had it down here, but then I switched the extension and the valve because it was having difficulty pressurizing and pushing it all the way through the hose, instead of just having the pressure build up in the hose and then forcing out this only small spot. And so this has varying levels of success. It does shoot water, just not exactly how I want it to. So the current contraption right now, I just tip it this way so that the water ends up all the way back here and the air is all up here, so that when I release this, all the air will push the water out this way. So, and hopefully, like this, it does shoot. It's kind of, sometimes it's all like in a big, like, burst, sometimes it kind of like scatters, sometimes it's like, just like a faucet. So it's kind of weird, and I need to make that a little more consistent. So more trial and error will be done, but I guess this is progress, and technically I could light that on fire, but that's also kind of dangerous, so I'm probably not going to do that. Hopefully I can figure out a way to make this more consistent and more like misty, more of a vapor, so it'll actually work as intended. As a new nozzle, I heated up the tip of a pin with a blowtorch to melt a super small hole in another valve to bottleneck the fuel and to spray it out a lot better. Alright, so I've been able to get better results with the new nozzle, right, like that. Not perfect, but I think truly better results would probably have to wait for a version 2 and just a whole revamped design. But for now, this I think will work. So, quick demonstration. Please work. So, sometimes it kind of switches between stream and mist, but I mean, either one works. Point is, it will shoot fire, and that's really all I'm going for right now. In the future, I may revisit this In the future, I may revisit this project to make it more consistent, probably shoot farther, more, etc., etc. But this is just a very rough first prototype, and I think it'll get the job done. Now, what's left currently is to test this out with actual lighter fluid, because obviously want to make sure it works with the real deal before actually assembling the whole rig and everything. It's gonna be cool. For the body of the flamethrower, I decided to use an old Nerf modulus blaster that I had. First, I took apart the entire gun in order to get rid of all the pieces that I wouldn't need and to clear up some space on the inside for all the hoses and valves and other parts of the flamethrower. So it looks like the opening over here will actually fit this nozzle decently. I'm gonna have to make room for that, but that'll be fine. I'm gonna have to cut out a little bit here for this thicker part, and then a hole for the actual turning, and then it looks like I'm probably just gonna have to take off most of the back here. I'll just take that completely off and just have the can exposed, and then before I put it all together, I'm gonna give it a paint job. I then used a Dremel to gut the inside, like, supporting pieces of the blaster to make extra room for all the parts, and sanded everything down to prep it for painting. Alright, so I attached the handle. This is pretty much what the thing's gonna look like. It looks pretty good. Now, onto attaching the blowtorch. Alright, now that we have a torch that can easily just snap right on, we're ready to test out the final design. And after that, after we make sure it is actually hopefully still working properly, we can give it a paint job and get on to the final test montage. Here we go. So that last test actually turned out a little better than expected. However, run into a little bit of a problem. Besides the fact that I snapped it off, but I can just reglue that. Basically, either due to the pressure or to the lighter fluid, whenever I use it even just once, this gets stuck and won't turn anymore. So now it's kind of just stuck in that position. So I'm gonna have to get another new one of these. I guess I'm gonna have to try and get one that's like made of metal or just stronger in general, so it won't get stuck next time, and see if that works. Alright, so in order to start prepping the flamethrower for all the cosmetic changes and the paint, I'm gonna start by, I took the side pieces off, and I'm gonna start sanding them down. I'm gonna do that off camera because nobody gives a and it's boring as hell. But after that, then I'm gonna do a couple layers of spray paint, and it'll be pretty much ready. Alright, welcome to the first official flamethrower test. It's not loaded, so ignore that, but we are gonna test this thing out, and I hope to God that the modifications I made work. I'm just gonna wait till it gets a little bit darker, and then we'll see this thing in action. Now, in order to really finish off this video, I have collected the past 4 years worth of schoolwork from high school. So that is all the work I did from 9th grade through 12th grade. And I am gonna light it all up for a big grand finale. It's gonna be sweet, and I cannot wait to see that stuff be burned and gone to ashes. It's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna wait for it to get a little bit darker, then we'll get right into it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know what my next project will be, but follow me on Instagram to see updates on any of that stuff. All my links to socials and everything like that will be in the description, and I hope you have a super day. Oh, Jesus. Right when I try and record something, it's like, I'm gonna go right in your eyes, huh?